Hi there again, everybody. Welcome back to the TrekWorks channel. Boyd here with you. Well, I've got something pretty cool on the bench today, as you can see. This is the just released AMT Round 2 models Klingon K'tinga class Battle Cruiser. This one's in 1537 scale. This kit was originally introduced right around 1979 or 1980, right about the time when Star Trek the Motion Picture was released and we first saw the K'tinga class Klingon cruiser in the film. And AMT Round 2 has done a little bit of upgrading on this kit and re-released it, so it was getting kind of hard to find out there. So now we'll have plenty of these in supply, so this is a great kit. You can see they've got a really cool painting of the model on the ship on the front cover there. And on the back side here we can see that they have some really nice box art going on. There's a little bit of printed information there about the ship itself, on the history of it, and here you can see that they've got an actual photograph of the original studio miniature that was used for Star Trek the Motion Picture. And they've got some information there about some of the other AMT Star Trek kits that are available. But this is a really cool kit. A lot of people have been waiting for this one. So we'll do a review of it for you today. What we're going to do is we'll open up the box and we'll take a look at the parts and the sprues that come with this. And we'll go through all that step by step. And then I happen to have here an original kit from the original first release of this model from back in 1979 from Star Trek the Motion Picture. And we'll lay some of these parts out side by side and we'll take a look at the differences between the two kits so we can get a better idea of what changes they made to this. And so what I'll do now is I'll set up the camera in a different spot here and we'll get going with it. So let's get ready to rock our review of the brand new K'tinga Cruiser from AMT Round 2. Alright guys, well we're all set up now, and let me pull the lid off this thing and we'll start taking a look at what we get inside. Right off the bat you can see that we get included is the brand new polar light stand that we're getting used to now for all these model kits. The interesting thing about this one is that this actually comes with a hollow tube with no swivel socket, so I guess they're setting this up so a lot of guys, they are anticipating that are going to be doing some lighting on this and need to run some wiring through that. So that's a nice touch. And here we see immediately the big difference is this is molded a new shade of green. The kit was molded in a few various colors over the years, and they had everything from a light blue to a white. I think there's even some kits that were molded in black that were out there for a while. So there's been a few different color changes over the years to this. Taking a look at the top here, you can see they've got the beautiful, I call these feathers, like this feather pattern that's all molded into this, and the detail looks to be nice and crisp and clean. There doesn't seem to be a lot of flash on these parts. They're molded pretty nice. Here on the bottom side you can see the same thing. There doesn't appear offhand, just right offhand looking at this, anything different from the original kit, but I think we're going to have to take a closer look at side-by-side parts to notice any differences. I have a feeling we may see some differences here on the nacelles. It does look like there may be some detail differences here on the nacelles in this area here, possibly. But we can see we've still got that same pattern over here on the pylon supports, and they're pretty well straightforward. There's the torpedo launcher there. Everything looks to be pretty nicely molded and nice and crisp. Here we see we have the forward bulkhead of the engineering section here. We have the rear section here with the placements here for the impulse engine deck, the rear torpedo launcher, and you can see they've got this pretty much, it looks to me like the same detail on the neck assembly that they had before. So I don't think much has changed there. And here we're taking a look at the next set of sprues here, and here is the top of the bridge, or the actual forward part of the battle bridge here, and things look to be pretty much the same on that too. I don't see much of a difference on that, but again, we won't be able to tell for sure until we look at some of the old parts. Detailing here on the top side here is nicely done, nice and crisp and clear. And then I think one of the big questions everybody's wanting to know is, did they change the bridge on the top? Well, the answer is unfortunately no. This is the same old bridge that we saw before on the original kit. It's completely inaccurate to the model that we saw on the screen. The original model had more of a tower here with a little window assembly in the middle of it and a little bit of detail with ribbing and things like that on it. So it looks like the option for that again is to go with aftermarket parts to get the accurized version of that. The forward bulb section here looks to be pretty much the same as well. There are some little markings in there for the windows, and they are rectangular shaped. Here at the impulse deck, everything looks to be pretty much the same. detail on the neck. The impulse manifolds look to be pretty much the same, and the rear part of the shuttle bay and all that looks to be pretty much the same. So let's take a look at the instruction sheet. It's pretty basic. You have your front side here, which shows the basic assembly of the model. You have your two halves going together here, the rear bulkhead, front bulkhead, the impulse deck with the shuttle bay, the forward section, the neck, the nacelles, the caps, and then going straight down onto the stand. And on the back side here we see a nice painting guide and decal placement guide. And I believe this is, they're stating here that this is the paint scheme for the motion picture version of the Klingon K'tinga ship. So I guess that's why they molded it in that darker green color to kind of capture that look. I'm not sure if that's the exact shade that it was or not, but let's take a look at the decal sheet here. And I did notice that there were a few changes made to that. You can see that now we have a set of window decals for the bulb section there, the forward command section of the bridge area, and also some windows for the, I guess it would be this, this part right here. And then we have this little area here of detail around the photon torpedo launcher. We have some Klingon markings. This is kind of nice. This is a little insert that goes in behind the grill for the impulse engine. And there are some other small little detail markings here, and a decal for the bottom side, that big Klingon insignia that goes on the bottom of the model. So they did make a few changes to that. Nothing really major though. So what I'll do now is I'm gonna break out the original kit, and we're gonna start laying some parts down side by side to see if we can get a little bit better information, a little bit better detail about what they may have done for the upgrades on this kit. We'll be right back with that in just a second. Alright guys, so what I've done is I've pulled my old kit here out of my stash, and this is the original Star Trek the Motion Picture Klingon Cruiser kit that came out right around 79 or 80, somewhere in there. And this was a brand new mold at the time. The only kit that they had out for the Klingon ship before that was the original D7 and 1/650 scale. And so what they were doing here is they were trying some different things, and some of the things that they were trying out then was they were trying some of these new rainbow effect decals, which were supposed to kind of shimmer as the light hit them. And then they were these rub down transfers, so you basically laid the decal on the model and you rubbed over it and pulled the backing off, and the decal was supposed to stay on the model. It didn't work out very well. It didn't turn out to be very popular, and after a pretty short period of time AMT dropped that and didn't use it again, and they went back to their regular water slide decals. You can see a little bit of the box art of this, nothing really fancy. There are some pictures here of the original, some really nice pictures actually of the original studio miniature. And pull the lid off this. Now you can see these parts are molded in white. And so what we'll do now is we'll slide this out of the way, and let's start taking a look at some of these parts side by side. Let's start off with the bottom section here of the secondary hull. And you can see that everything on this looks pretty much exactly the same to me. I don't see any difference at all except this area right here where they made a new hole for mounting the new mounting rod and the polar lights stand that are coming with all their new kits. This had the original stand that was brought back. These were the original stands that came with the original releases of the AMT kits of the 1/650 Enterprise, somewhere around 1967 or 66, and same thing on the Klingon Cruiser, the D7. They dropped those and went to the cheaper stands that we all remember, and then they brought them back again for these for this particular model. So here we see now virtually no difference at all in these parts. So let's move on to something else here. Let's take a look at the top side. And just laying them down here, I'm not seeing any difference at all. They look to be exactly the same to me. I'm not seeing anything different. The mounting points, everything on the bottom is exactly the same. The only difference we're seeing here is a difference in the color. So it's looking more and more like they just basically repopped this kit and made some adjustments for the mounting stand, and that's basically it. Okay, we can see these two sprues here. We have the forward bulkhead of the secondary hull. We have the neck assembly here, and these appear to be, just taking a really close look at them here, they appear to be identical. I don't see any changes at all to that whatsoever. I'm just taking a really close look. Nope, all the detail looks to be exactly the same on that. Here we have the rear bulkhead for the impulse engines. Let's see if we can find that piece here. Let's see if there's anything different there. As you can see in the shot there, doesn't appear to be any changes at all to that. It looks identical. So it looks to me like they've just gone and repopped this kit basically from the original kit, changed up the decal sheet, made some adjustments or changes, slight changes on the instruction sheet, and the mounting of it, and that's basically it. Let's take a look at the forward bridge area here, the bulb, to see if there's anything different there. And you can see by looking that there is not. They are exactly the same. Again, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be a little disappointed that they didn't re-engineer this, but what can we say? There's a couple companies out there that make aftermarket parts. I think JT Graphics may make a kit for that. A couple of guys are out there. We got one guy over HDATX over at our Sci-Fi Model Action Forums actually doing a build-up of this kit right now. And he's gone with some really nice aftermarket parts for it to make that more screen accurate. So it looks like you're going to have to modify that like we talked about. But I don't think we need to go much further here. It looks to me like all these parts are exactly the same. And so if we're expecting a redesign of this model, we're going to be a little bit disappointed. But again, the good thing about it is that the model has been re-released, and so we're going to have a brand new fresh supply of these. I'm sure the decals are going to be an improvement, and I'm sure a lot of the old kits, the decals were going to be in pretty sad shape based on how old they were. So it's kind of hard to look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. I'm happy that they re-released the kit. I'll be doing a build-up of this. It'll be nice to build one of these and not use up my old original kit because I wanted to keep that. So I guess we should be happy about that. This might bode for some of the other. They're scheduled. Round 2 AMT is scheduled to repop quite a few kits coming up here. They've got the original bridge. Now they did mention they're gonna. You will be able to build a complete circular bridge on that one, and there's some new figures included and some improvements. But I think we're going to see kind of on a lot of these kits, you're not going to see a whole lot of difference on them. It costs a lot to retool and everything like that, and if they're going to do that, they might as well just really go build a whole new, or make a whole new mold for the model and get them a little bit more accurate. So I kind of hope they do that. But again, this is a nice kit to have. It's right around 35 bucks, so it's not a bad buy on it. And I'm sure it's going to be popular, like I said, and it's just cool to have it back on the market again. The box art's hard to beat. I really like that. That looks great. So that's it. That's the brand new 1537 Klingon K'tinga class Battle Cruiser from AMT Round 2. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I hope you guys build a lot of these. This is a fun little kit, always has been. And with a few modifications and tweaks, it can really be a beautiful model. And again, the nice little touch that they added is the little hollow tube and the new stand, so it is set up to be lit. So there you go, everybody. We'll come back in a few days. We're continuing on the NX-01 build-up, and we're going to be doing some more builds after that. Everything's going. We're having a great time here on the TrekWorks channel. We're very busy. We're doing some work over on the other Sci-Fi Model Action channel, and we've got a lot of builds coming up. I've got the 350 refit coming along as soon as I finish up on the NX-01. So we'll catch up with you guys later. Until then, like I always like to say, take care out there, and happy modeling, everybody.